Panama Canal, a 51-mile waterway that has defined global trade for over a century. Built by American hands, it became the crown jewel of US engineering and dominance. But now, decades after relinquishing control, the canal is at the center of a fiery international standoff. President-elect Donald Trump has issued a bold threat: return the canal to the United States or face consequences. Trump accused Panama of charging exorbitant fees for the use of the canal. He said the fees were ridiculous and unfair to American commerce and naval operations.
When they gave it to Panama, can you believe that? We would never have done it if we thought what's happening now can happen, and we would never, and we will never, ever let it fall into the wrong hands. But it's falling into the wrong hands. It was not given for the benefit of others by a token of cooperation, but it was given to Panama and to the people of Panama, but it has provisions. You got to treat us fairly, and they haven't treated us fairly. If the principles, both moral and legal, of this magnanimous gesture of giving are not followed, then we will demand that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question. I'm not going to stand for it. So to the officials of Panama, please be guided accordingly.
For Trump, the canal isn't just a waterway. It's a vital national asset that he claims should never have been handed over to Panama in the first place. But Panama's president, Raul Mulino, declared that his country will not bow to US pressure.
Quiero expresar de manera precisa que cada metro cuadrado del Canal de Panamá y su zona adyacente es de Panamá y lo seguirá siendo. La soberanía e independencia de nuestro país no son negociables. Las tarifas no son un capricho. Se establecen de manera pública y en audiencia abierta, considerando las condiciones del mercado, la competencia internacional, los costos operativos y las necesidades de mantenimiento y modernización de la vía interoceánica. El canal no tiene control directo o indirecto ni de China, ni de la Comunidad Europea, ni de Estados Unidos o de cualquier otra potencia. Como panameño rechazo enérgicamente cualquier manifestación que tergiverse esta realidad y seguirá estando en manos panameñas como patrimonio inalienable de nuestra nación y garantizando su uso para el tránsito pacífico e ininterrumpido de naves de todas las naciones. Con el nuevo gobierno de Estados Unidos, aspiro a conservar y mantener una buena y respetuosa relación. Temas de seguridad como la migración ilegal, el narcotráfico, el terrorismo y el crimen organizado deben ser prioridad en nuestra agenda bilateral, ya que son una amenaza real que nos debe preocupar y mucho.
But Trump's concerns go beyond fees. In recent years, China has increased its presence in Panama through infrastructure investments tied to its Belt and Road Initiative. In 2018, Panama became the first Latin American country to sign on to China's Belt and Road Initiative. Chinese companies now play a significant role in logistics and construction projects near the canal. This growing partnership has only deepened Trump's suspicions, fueling his calls for the US to retake control of the canal. Responding to Trump's threat, China extended support to Panama, and a foreign ministry spokesperson said, "The Panama Canal is a great creation of the Panamanian people, and China has always supported their just struggle to maintain sovereignty over the canal. China will continue to respect Panama's sovereignty over the canal and recognizes it as a permanently neutral international passageway." The story of the Panama Canal began in the early 20th century, where the United States sought to solve one of the greatest logistical challenges in maritime history. At the time, ships moving between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans had to endure a treacherous 8,000-mile journey around South America's Cape Horn. Building a canal across Panama was considered impossible due to its mountainous terrain and deadly tropical diseases. The French tried and failed, But in 1904, the United States took up the challenge under the leadership of President Theodore Roosevelt. The project wasn't just about engineering. It was about power. Backed by a controversial treaty following a US-supported coup in Panama, the canal became American territory and its construction began. Over a decade, thousands of workers, many of them immigrants, toiled under brutal conditions. The Panama Canal was completed in 1914 at the cost of over $300 million and the lives of more than 25,000 workers. For decades, the canal symbolized American dominance, but for Panamanians, it was a sore point. The land surrounding the canal, known as the Panama Canal Zone, was essentially US territory, complete with American schools, laws, and a segregated society. Riots broke out in 1964 with Panamanians demanding sovereignty over their own land. After years of negotiations, President Jimmy Carter signed the Torrijos-Carter Treaties in 1977, setting a timeline for Panama to take full control of the canal by the 31st of December 1999. The agreement also allowed the US to retain the right to militarily defend the canal's neutrality. For some Americans, it was a necessary move to ease tensions in the region. But why does the Panama Canal matter so much even today? The canal remains a crucial artery for global trade, handling 14,000 ship transits annually. It accounts for nearly 6% of the world's trade by value, moving everything from cars to crude oil and liquefied natural gas. For Panama, the canal generates 20% of the country's revenue, making it a lifeline for its economy. The canal's operations rely on a unique system of reservoirs to lift and lower ships. In an era of shifting geopolitics, the canal remains a flashpoint. Whether it's about trade, military strategy, or national pride, the Panama Canal is once again a battleground, not for ships, but for power.